occupational psychologist and performance coach and blah blah blah. I have this education, that education, this much experience, and yet every single day I feel like a fraud, feeling like I'm not qualified to have my job because I see so many people more qualified than me, or more people having more years of experience. Basically, if I'm 27, it's not hard to find someone with 20 years of experience, 10 years of experience. So nowadays, especially nowadays, I feel like a strong imposter syndrome while working in my field, and whatever helps me to manage this imposter syndrome is the way I think about it. Hi, I'm Justyna, and for years I was working in jobs below my qualifications, like admin roles or customer service. And in those roles, I felt confident. I felt like I am an expert and I'm a go-to expert, because not only sometimes I was enjoying those jobs, but I was also good at it, and I knew that it is below my qualifications. But recently I started a role to push myself out of comfort zone, finally in a field that truly interests me. And the worst part is that we are like 7 months in and I still feel like, am I doing an adequate job? Am I doing things correct? I am being praised and I get a positive feedback. So theoretically everything is going well, but inside every single day I have an inner battle between me and my imposter syndrome. Like I feel like I don't belong there, because every single day I'm meeting such a inspiring people, such a qualified people, people with years and years of expertise, experience and so much knowledge, that I prefer to be in the background, just listening to them, soaking up all the knowledge, but not really interacting. And it doesn't matter how many degrees I will go through, or how many diplomas, or how many multinational companies I will work for. Well, if I don't do the inner work myself, then I will always feel this way. And I have big dreams, you know. I want to be out there and I want to be a go-to expert in my field someday, and I want to be surrounded by probably even more experienced people. And if you are the most interesting and the smartest person in the room, then you are in the wrong room. So I understand that I need to go out there, but this is like the first time in my life, the situation like this, that I feel like not only I'm the youngest, that's the fact, but also I feel like, oh, you know, maybe I'll leave it to the experts, and then I can easily forget that I am an expert myself, and just because they are more experienced, that doesn't mean that they are right 100%, and they can learn something from me as well. And you know, in that kind of situation, I really try to remind myself what I'm doing, and whether me questioning myself and double guessing, it's really a fact or it's just implemented and infused by my emotions, and I'm feeling like, you know, I'm not really doing a right job or a good job. Is it based on facts because I see it and I get the feedback from other people, or is it because I internally feel this way? And then I see that, of course, this is because I internally feel this way. Nobody is second guessing me there. Everyone is very supportive, everyone wants to hear my feedback, but there is this inner blockade in me. And I thought that, you know, I need to fight with it. I need to just get rid of that. But then I realized that the higher you aim, the more imposter syndrome you get. And it is a battle that never ends. Recently, I was talking with my manager, and that man not only is experienced, but also have a very specific way with people, very empowering, very influencing, but inspiring, and that he can get done things with people easily. He is amazing at meetings, and I feel like he always knows what to say, how to say it, like perfectly, diplomatically, that everyone is satisfied with that answer, even though we're working with leaders and people that have specific approaches or viewpoints. These are really strong personalities, and yet he handles it so well, and I was always impressed how he does it. And recently he told me that before every big meeting that he feels like he's going to be stressed, he is listening to a meditation like deep breathing audio just 15 minutes before the meeting to just try to calm himself down. Not really to say, oh, don't worry about it, just relax, but just trying to at least calm down a little bit of his nervous systems. And I was surprised that he does those things. I thought that he just, turn on the camera because we're working in the remote world and just go with it. He just shows up. It seems like he just shows up and he has it. Of course, it's also about preparing, about knowing what to say, about knowing about the subject, but it is about the confidence to engage despite the fear and try to take deep breaths or meditation like audio just to gather your thoughts and to show up. And it's funny that for me, for an outside person, it looks like he doesn't have fears. He's just a natural leader and he was born this way. And then the moment you get a feedback from someone that they are struggling with it and they are working towards it, and it is just a part of the job, you realize that this imposter syndrome will be with you probably for the rest of your life, unless you decide to settle for some comfortable job where you basically don't develop yourself and you're using the qualifications that you gained like thousands of years ago and you're basically not developing. That is not who I want to be. Everyone says that I'm not ready for this opportunity or to be a parent or to have my own business or to be even an adult. We say that like, oh, I'm not ready to have my things figure it out, but you will never be ready. My classic saying, and everyone knows that. You will never be 100% ready, first of all. Nothing is going to be perfect anyway. But the thing is that you're not going to know how to do things, or you're not going to be ready to become that person until you actually become that person. Like, you cannot know how to be a president and how to live and behave like a president until you become a president, because then this is it. But do you think that candidates to be a president are ready, or they know how to be a president? You learn as you go on the way, and it might be super uncomfortable to be in this imposter syndrome. I think it's really crucial to remember that this is a part of the journey. That means that you're growing, that your nervous system is telling you like, oh, it's a little bit exciting, but it's a little bit scary. But did you know that actually fear has the same symptoms as excitement? So if we turn things around and we name fear as an excitement, then it is less scary. And I love the reframing of imposter syndrome. Like, if you feel like you have imposter syndrome, that means that you're on the right path. It's not something to be avoided. It means that you are exactly where you're supposed to be, because you're being challenged, because you're growing, and it's not a failure, even though it feels like that, like, oh my god, am I supposed to be even here? I don't belong here. But this is the progress, when you learn, when you grow, when you take yourself outside of the comfort zone, and this is where you start flying. You open up your wings, and even though you're being pushed onto the air before you know how to fly, you will learn how to fly while you're falling, but then you start flying. And this is how you're going to learn how to fly, not by sitting or standing on the ground. And I think also the second thing to remember is very reassuring while experiencing imposter syndrome is the fact that even the most experienced individuals can sometimes feel stress, fear, or imposter syndrome, like they don't belong there. And the realization is that they do things regardless. They just learn how to deal with it. They have their coping mechanisms, like listening to calming audio, or they have their different tactics to have it under control and go with a plan regardless. And the third thing, my favorite, is the definition of confidence. The definition of confidence is not that you have to know how to do things and you need to be motivated and just go with it and be very determined and do things in the right way. The definition of confidence is that you engage into something despite the fear. So you feel the fear and you still go with it. It's a bravery, it's a courage. So if you're still feeling like you don't belong here, like you should go somewhere else, like, you know, this is beyond your qualification or your capabilities, welcome to the club of being a human being. That is being challenged and getting out of a comfort zone. That means that you want something more from life and you are getting there. So comment down below if you've ever experienced that feeling, because I guarantee you, you're not alone. And we want to build a community here where we can feel safe expressing how to be a human being and how hard it is to try figure shit out, to be honest. So with imposter syndrome, the goal is not to eliminate it. It's to do things that you're supposed to do or you're meant to do despite feeling this way. The goal here is to be prepared, using tactics and coping mechanisms to deal with it and to be prepared for it when it comes, so it doesn't overcome you and it doesn't stop you. It's under control, it's being taken care of, it's still there in the back of your mind and in the background, but you've got this. If you want to hear more about imposter syndrome tactics and coping mechanisms, definitely subscribe to this channel not to miss my next videos. And I hope that this video helped you a little bit realize that imposter syndrome is a perfectly normal human behavior. Not that you're trying to avoid it and to treat it as an enemy. You're trying to treat it as a friend that you're taking along, and the friend that you accept. The friend that reminds you that you're growing, you're being challenged, you're being stronger, and you're exactly where you were supposed to be. So it's more of a positive experience rather than just fear. It's more an exciting journey. I hope you like this video. If you like it, hit the like button and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next video.